Howdy, Storm Tracker, what's up? Whoa. Huh. This, camera angle's weird. Alright. Well, I will give it just a couple of minutes. This should be, it's old MRE night, so obviously this is an old MRE. It's going to be 86 or 87. I cannot remember. I think it might be an 86. Maybe it's an 87. I don't know. Maybe it's an 88. I don't know. The case that this came out of did have like a little bit of a mix of a couple years, if I'm not mistaken. They weren't all from that case. And it had menus that were off, and it had different manufacturers instead of all being, I believe this is RAFCO, well, Right Away Foods, Right Away Food Corporation, which is later RAFCO. But this right here, RAFCO Freeze Dried Incorporated, MRE division. It's almost wintertime, like actually getting cold, wintertime. We'll be having that RAFCO Ration Cold Weather on a live stream soon. This will probably be a December thing. I'm going to treat myself this December to the Ration Cold Weather, which is scallop potatoes with pork, and it is the bars / slices, which is really cool. I don't know why they don't still do that. I think it's genius. Just all you got to do is when you freeze dry, which you freeze dry a little thicker that way, it takes a little longer. I'm sure that's why. But you freeze dry it in a little square form, or somewhat rectangle form, a little dish more or less that's squared off, and then after it's done, hit it with the slicer, 4 or 5 slices. I can't remember. I think it's 4 this way, and then one laying on the bottom. So I think it's 5. I can't remember. I've actually never had a RAFCO RCW. I've had components, I've had pieces of one of these, but I've never had a RAFCO freeze-dried Ration Cold Weather from 1989 all to myself. So for a long time, I only had one that Steve was kind enough to give me, and I still cherish that thing. And I'll probably never eat that one, to be honest. I'll probably just keep that thing as it'll be my display, put up, whatever. I've got, and I'm not going to say anything about it. Next week, we'll talk about it next week, because, oh man, I really just pray that everything goes as planned tomorrow, and I will have what I consider to be some extremely huge news next week. But then again, I could have no news. I don't know. I don't know how to approach talking about it yet, because it's not real yet. What's up, Sparrow? Hang on just one second. Ethan, has she not answered yet? What time do you gotta leave here? Yeah, she needs to hurry up. My son's got to go to work, and currently both of my vehicles are down because I hit a deer with my car, and his car, the entire timing chain went out of it. 2 days after I hit a deer, and yeah, my car is going to take a little bit longer, I think, to fix than his. So I'm borrowing my mom's vehicle right now. Luckily, she's got an extra car, kind of. She does. She's got an extra car. And that's what we have right now as a vehicle. And she's not home, and my son's got to go to work, so. And he's still pretty new at his job. Anyway, back to the MRE. I want to get into this thing real quick, like. So, if you guys don't mind to hit that thumbs up or down, either way, just give Google their much wanted feedback that they crave so much. Now, I do believe this is an 86, or I don't know. 86 and 87 are the same, more or less. There's not really any variation that I'm aware of. I need to... I'm not sure if the sleeves, the pouch stands, come in 86s and 87s, or if it's just 1 year. I need to figure that out, because it may only be 1 year, one of those years. But 86s and 87s essentially are the same. Then you get some changes that come in 1988. And 1988 and 89 are also essentially the same. They're kind of grouped together when you're looking at MRE menus. And then you move up to 1990, and some changes start to happen in 1990 with the brown bags. That's when they did away with any type of freeze-dried entree. So, 1987 and before, they still had freeze-dried, beef patty, pork patty. But by 1990, all of that had stopped. Now, freeze-dried fruit was still a thing. I have had freeze-dried fruit out of 1995s. So that freeze-dried fruit made it all the way to the end of the brown bags. Now, anybody who doesn't know that you're new to this, or if you're watching this back later, these brown bags like this ran from 1980 all the way up to 1995. So it was a 15-year run for the dark brown bags. There was a change in the dark brown bags in I believe it was 80. No, yeah, it was 88. 1988, they started putting the big numbers on the side, I believe. That was the only really visual difference between the early brown bag MREs and like what I would call the third generation, actually. Second generation was the 88 and 89. Third generation was 90 to... really, I consider 93 a different generation, because that's when the flameless ration heater was introduced. And in 1996, most people know that they go to a tan bag, similar to the color that MREs are today, or, well, 2024s are just goofy. Trying to save that money. Makes me think of that song. Anyway, MREs are not going in the direction that I would like to see them going. I would like for them to refine their products, and I do think that they could probably keep the same variety and still do some weight reduction without losing quality and bag quality. Now, most of these bags are just tossed and thrown away, but with the introduction of civilian style packaging now with the clear back, that's letting sunlight in, and I think that was a huge mistake on their part. But that doesn't really affect them, because they're only going to have them for like essentially 3 to 5 years. I hear guys all the time that are eating MREs that are 3 years and older. I've had plenty of reports of that. I mean, constantly. They usually tell me that they're 3, 4, or 5 years old when they're getting them. Every once in a while, some guys will get fresh ones, but that's more of a rarity that they're super fresh. Now, with as active as things have been, it might be a little different right now, especially with all the storms that we've had recently. There might be some fresh stuff going around. But like I said, typically, guys that are in training or out on some sort of training missions, after they've already gotten in, and they're actually using MREs for their design purpose. They're getting older stuff, or they'll give them the totems, the tailored operational training meals, which are like a more or less, they're very similar to a civilian style MRE in a clear bag, and lacking a few components. They're not a full blown MRE. What is it, Goose? She still ain't answered you?
No,
she hasn't?
She has.
Okay. Are you good?
She's going on the street.
Oh, all right. Okay, good deal. All right, well, this particular menu right here, as you can see, is menu number 8. Beef diced with gravy. Not an extremely common menu to see in the MRE community and world of people trying these. I think these got eaten a lot. I think this was one of the more desirable menus. I think that's why you don't see it as much. Stella, stop. Stop. Calm down. Why are you doing that? Do you think whining's going to... It's doing nothing for you. What is your deal? Here. All right, I ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. Mom's getting home. She's freaking out. So, sorry for the dog in the background. It's just going to have to be what it is. I can't really do anything about it. I mean, it's just... It doesn't bother me. It's just that it's on the live stream, so you guys got to hear it. Anyway, I don't think most of you guys mind anyway. And if somebody does, I don't really... it is what it is. Back to what I was saying. I think this was one of the more desirable menus because whenever you see groupings of vintage MREs for sale or, like cracked open cases or something like that of the early years, this is a menu that's usually missing. This is a menu you don't typically see pop up a lot. And I don't remember if I've had very many good beef diced with gravy. Maybe one or two. I'd have to... I don't know if I've had any on video or not. I mean, I'm trying to think back, but I don't really remember. Now, this menu, let's see. Let's see how long this menu ran. Because beef diced with gravy started in the very first run. It was a menu that started everything out. And I think it ended in the first or second generation. Okay, so it went all the way into... It made its way through the second generation. It stopped... Let me double check. Beef stew, ham slice, meatball, beef and rice and tomato sauce, tuna with noodles, chicken and rice. Okay, yeah, it made it through the first and second generation. It made it from 1980 to 1987. So that's an 8-year run that this was a menu. It never made a comeback. Beef diced with gravy was a one run. So that's another reason why you don't see it much. I mean, it was only in the early years. Hey, Stella, how are you getting around today? Stella, I ain't seen you up moving. Hey. Anyway, the early years are pretty lightweight, to be honest. They're pretty good. There we go. There we go. All right. And as you can see, this one's pretty shiny. It's in pretty good shape. Visually, looks can be deceiving. Obviously, you start how it looks. And then once we get into it and get some stuff opened up, we see how it smells. And then if it doesn't smell right, most of the time people won't go any further than that. And that's the recommended way of approaching vintage food like this. I do not and will not ever recommend anyone eating expired food. But it's something that I do. Again, never recommend it, but it's something I enjoy. I actually prefer old food over anything that we have to offer that is processed food today. That's a topic that I'd really like to dive into one day. Really talk about the differences, talk about what happened. In 1987, there were a whole lot of new chemicals, pharmaceuticals, pesticides that were introduced that started really changing our food in America. So this MRE right here is before the change. Again, like, if something like this can hold up that long without as many chemicals and preservatives in it as today's food, they claim that they're using these most of the time for shelf life. That's typically the claim, or it's a flavor enhancer. I would argue that if it's not going to taste good without flavor enhancers, then it's probably not good. Make something else, figure something else out. But that's where we're at in this country right now. There's a lot of stuff that is outlawed in many other countries, and we're just still chugging along, shoving the stuff down in our gullet and paying the consequences, all of us. So yeah, it's really hard to avoid in today's world. Again, I mentioned that this is a Right Away Foods company. It comes with accessory packet A, of course, the most boring one possible. In Zombieland, I will live off of Twinkies. So interesting. Hang on, let me go grab this box real quick. Okay, since you said that, it just made me think about this. It's something that I was thinking about the other day, but I saw these at the store, and I thought, I've never had a banana Twinkie before. And if I'm not mistaken, I've got to double check this fact. Let me do that right now, because I don't want to tell you guys this and then me be wrong. Let me search it up. Okay. So I was somewhat mistaken, but this is an interesting factoid, and it includes some World War II history. So during World War II, bananas had to be rationed. And the company, Hostess, I assume, still owned them back then. I don't know. Maybe it was just Twinkie brand. The company was forced to switch to vanilla cream. So, actually, yes. The original Twinkie was banana. But during World War II, bananas were rationed, and the company had to switch over to vanilla cream. This change proved to be popular, and banana cream Twinkies were not widely reintroduced. The original flavor was occasionally found in limited time only promotions. The company used vanilla cream for most Twinkies from that point on. So I didn't catch whether for sure. Hang on. So, let's see. Banana flavored came not from the powerful flavor of chemicals, but actual bananas. This also resembled real food in that they did not last very long. Interesting. So, original Twinkies, they didn't last very long. And this is a article from 1930s. Until the Twinkies switched from their original banana cream. So it was a banana cream, not the actual cake being banana flavored. These are banana flavored. But I just thought it was cool to see some Twinkies that was a throwback to what Twinkies were to start with. I know banana was a integral part of Twinkie to begin with. And whenever the first thing that I ever done on site with Eating History was they had a box of Twinkies from like 1988, 1990 or so. It might have been 92. It was an old box of Twinkies. You know, they were, let's see, 92. They were 30 years old, 30 some years old. Whenever I tried them, and the box was open like this. It was actually rougher than this, but it was open. And this is something you'll never see. This is something that we just done. I mean, they did film it, so I don't know. I don't know what they done with it. But anyways, it was a rough-looking box that had been opened. It wasn't full. There were some Twinkies missing. And they did not want me to eat them because the box was open. And, I mean, but the Twinkie was still sealed inside. And you could tell, like, they hadn't been messed with. Or, you know, I guess they could have been, but, you know, like those stories that we heard when we were kids and people putting drugs into candy and stuff. I guess somebody could do something like that, but it didn't seem that way. And I was intrigued. I really wanted to try one of those Twinkies. So I tried one of them. And it was interesting because what had happened was the cream kind of like dried up to, you know, that cream that's in the middle of those caramel things. I can't remember what they're called. They're like a flat disc-shaped caramel with a dollop of like dry cream in the middle. I don't know what those things are called. I know you guys probably know what I'm talking about, though. I'm sure I could look it up and find a picture. But the cream in them was kind of like that cream. It had gotten like heavier, thicker. And the cake itself had dried up extremely. So first thing I done was break it open, and it was like breaking a cookie, and that's what it tasted like. It tasted like I mean, it was rancid. The cream was rancid. It did have some side effects of the rancid. Milk powder had gone bad, or dairy, whatever, and butter or fat, whatever was in it, had went rancid. But they didn't taste bad. Like it wasn't. The taste wasn't real bad. It was just, you know, there was some lingering side effects from the mouth and stuff. But I thought that was pretty cool. Twinkies, I think, will last a long time and still be edible with some nutritional value. And I think if you'd store Twinkies properly, like say you had a root cellar or something, and you put Twinkies down in a root cellar where it was cool, dry, and dark, I think Twinkies would last a long time. It's just, honestly, I think the biggest thing that's going against them is having them in this like lightweight clear packaging on the inside, to be honest. And look how greasy that is in there. You see that? All that oil in there. It's hard to tell what all that is other than oil, man. Twinkies are weird. And these are very artificial when it comes to the banana. Like, very artificial. If you don't mind artificial banana, you might like these. Like, I don't hate artificial banana. It's not my favorite by any means. I like regular banana, but like real banana. All right. Anyway, that was a little Twinkie rant. All right, we're going to get this MRE opened up. Let me go through the chat real quick. Oh, yeah, Zombieland. Woody Harrelson's funny, man. I like that guy. I bet he would be really cool to hang out with. Like, he just seems like a fun guy to just chill with. But yeah, the Twinkies never go bad. I've seen the movies. I mean, they actually, yeah, they do. Yeah, snowballs aren't bad, man. Like, it's just, I feel like they put too much marshmallow on the snowballs. If they would cut that marshmallow like down to a third of what it is and have a lot more balanced ratio of marshmallow to the chocolate cake cookie stuff and the coconut on the outside, I like the coconut. So yeah, I mean, I like snowballs, but I usually cut like 2/3 of the marshmallow off and just don't eat that part. What is it? Older Twinkies were good, but sometimes happen. What do you mean? Hang on here. We'll go through the chat real quick. What's up, Cliff? Brad's Journey. Hey, Kaylin. Hi, all. How's it going? Sorry you missed the whole... You didn't miss the whole stream. Just got home. No, you're good. Ain't even got started really yet. I mean, ain't open nothing. Winston Zedmore. That's a big Twinkie. I don't remember that. Is that a movie line? Useless stuff for 1,000. Hey, you'd think that, and then one day it'll enter your mind and be like, oh yeah, Twinkies used to be banana to start with. Like, information that it's a little useless. Let's be honest, but it's cool because when you see it, like the banana ones, they're like, oh man, like kind of similar to the original Twinkies, and try them out. That's what I thought when I saw them. I was like, oh yeah, Twinkies originally were banana, so I want to try these because it's kind of like an ode to where they started. I thought it was cool. Something happened. Oh, it was banana flavor. I didn't go back very far. In Zombieland, I will live off of Twinkies. Yeah. They found that truck on the side of the road. That was that was cool that he was on a quest to like have a good Twinkie, and he couldn't find any. Which maybe that people would seek out Twinkies because, let's be honest, not only because of the pop culture myth, but also because it's just been a rumor that's been passed around for a really long time that Twinkies are age proof. They're indestructible. They do not go bad. That's just something that's been going around since, it seems like I've heard something like that since I was a kid, maybe. It seems like that's always kind of been the consensus, that Twinkies will last forever. Well, I'm here to tell you, if something like this in commercial packaging like this is lasting that long, it's not all that great for you to be eating in the first place. It's pretty much the case with a lot of the food, but again, that's a discussion that we can get into in detail at some point. San Diego in the house. What's up, Melvin Anderson? You're probably not here anymore, but what's up? Roadhog. It's really, I personally couldn't hear it. It really is what it is. I personally couldn't hear it. Oh yeah, the dog. Yeah, she's eating now, so she'll be good. She ain't gonna make no more noise. She's happy. What's up, Jay Waters, Storm Tracker, Cliff, who else is in here? Sparrow, I don't know if I said hello, but hello. 86, so 38-year-old Ration. Let's hope it turns out to be good. Yes, let's hope. Let's get it open. Let's just do that right now. Go down to the bottom of the chat. I need to go to live chat real quick before I switch back around. Live chat. Twinkies would have been great. Well, I don't know why we didn't use. I think because the box was open, they probably didn't want to. I don't know why they did. I think Twinkies was a great brand that should have probably been a segment or a clip or 2-minute segment on eating history. Man, I'd love to get that show going back again. I think the change in the times. Look, when it premiered, when eating history premiered, could the timing have been any worse? Seriously. Everybody that I know, everybody and their brother, was turning on a news channel, whether it be CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, whatever news channel that your household typically prefers, and they were switching back and forth. But most people would turn it on a news channel at the very beginning, and well, really for like the first 6 months, because it was 2 weeks, and then it was a month, and then it was pushed to 3 months, and it just kind of snowballed, and everybody was like waiting with bated breath. When are we going to be allowed back outside? I don't think we'll wait on that again. I don't think we'll wait on their say so again. I think if it's rational, it seems rational, it probably is. Anyway, I don't think we could have premiered at any worse of a time, just based on like the past X amount of years. We still were doing extremely well in the ratings in comparison to other shows that were on. We started off with our first episode in the top 100, and we finished off like 37th, I think. We've climbed every single week. We were climbing the ratings charts every single week. It's just we physically could not film the show, and the production company was shut down for years. Well, not shut down. It was, it was, but it wasn't. It was just like everything else. People were working from home that could work from home. And the editing, that was a huge problem. And obviously filming was impossible because technically the way things were set up, we were not allowed. So anyways, that's awesome. That's awesome, Blazing Gamer. That is awesome to hear. Yeah, I mean, one of these days I might campaign History Channel and talk to them. I would do it for free. Like, I don't care about... Honestly, I would just like to gather the information, and everything that we were doing was pretty special. You could just tell on the set and with everybody that was working with it. Everybody had a passion for it. Everybody was enjoying themselves. Everybody got along. It was... and I mean, just more than got along. Like, these turned into, like, fast friends. I keep in touch with almost all of them. I've tried to keep in touch with a couple that I haven't been able to keep in touch with, but pretty much everybody I do. And Matt went to his wedding, and he comes in live streams and stuff whenever I get a hold of him. He'll drop in. He's the one that created Pawn Stars. Really, really cool guy. Did the first 5 or 6 years of Pawn Stars. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I mean, you talk about... is that the most popular show that History Channel has? Or is it American Pickers? Pawn Stars or American Pickers? I don't know which one's number one for them. Like, episode-wise and ratings. I don't know. I don't know what's what. But those two, I think it's arguable that, and Pawn Stars came long before, if I'm not mistaken. I think it came quite a few years, like probably 5-7 years before Pickers did. Anyway, let's get this thing opened up and see what we got inside of it, because I actually don't know what the components are. I just had the menu list pulled up, and I did not even look at it, so... good for me for not doing that, because usually I can't help myself. If I have the menu list in front of me, I'm like, oh, this, and this is in it. Which, I mean, obviously, there's not a whole lot of variation. When you go back, there's cocoa beverage powder. There was scalloped potatoes. There were, what else? There were, as sides, there was nut cakes. There were freeze-dried fruit. What else? I can't remember. This one box on the side. I feel the accessory packet. Let's find out together what all is in this MRE. Look at that. Absolutely no smell other than a little bit of plastic. And it's not strong. I don't know what it is with this plastic. I really don't know what causes it. But sometimes this plastic, if it has been aged in maybe really dry, or it's had a lot of sun, it'll start to get brittle and stuff. And some of it smells really strong of, I don't know, it's just a really intense plastic smell. It's unique too. It's not just like random plastic. MRE plastic has a unique smell when it breaks down to that point. It's like there's a chemical reaction happening or something where it's breaking down. Looky there. That's what I was talking about, the pouch stand. So there it is. Push those in. Open that up like that.
I threw her off the kitchen counter before she come here to
Her?
her.
Oh, I just dropped half of the MRE.
Oh, okay.
Put that stuff over there. First thing I pulled out was the accessory packet that has coffee, cream substitute, sugar, salt, chewing gum, matches, and toilet paper. Boom. All right. Next, we'll go ahead and grab the spoon, because why not? I really like the old spoons. I wish they were about that much longer, like a new spoon. Look at the difference in size. And that's a lot. That is a substantial difference. This is basically the same exact length as the accessory packet almost, just missing that little heat seal at the bottom in length. So yeah, that's a substantial amount. I wish they were longer. I really do. What else do we got? What's this? It's a brownie. Man, brownies, and it's with an S, plural, more than one. Can we see that? Yeah. Brownies, chocolate covered. Made by Sterling Bakery Incorporated. Do we have a date? No date yet, but look at that thing. You can see the texture. Looks like Swiss cheese, kind of. On this side, it's going to have your like chocolate roll, kind of, from where the chocolate, I would assume, is like cascaded over it whenever they were making these. I've only had a couple of these be edible, but they're never good. I don't think they were good the day they rolled off of the assembly line. I really don't. I think these things were crap from the moment that they were made. I just think it was a bad product. All right, MRE crackers. Of course. Can't have a vintage MRE without some crackers. What else we got? Oh, yeah. I have been wanting one of these, and I did not want to waste or open up a vintage MRE just to take out the cocoa beverage powder. And here we go. We got us a cocoa beverage powder. I've been wanting one of them for a while. I went out and bought some cocoa beverage powder and some other stuff to add to it, trying to somewhat match this, and no. I can't get close. We also have a pouch of grape jelly. This is really separated, I would say, and it's, you can't really hear it, but it's very much so liquid. It's got some chunks in there, but IPK Packers Incorporated, Stone Mountain, Georgia. Look at that label. That is a good looking pack of jelly. I don't remember having a pack of jelly that, maybe, probably. I mean, of course, I've had them look like that. I don't remember seeing the IPK. Is it P? It is P, right? IPK? They're not trying to make the P and R, are they? IRK? I don't know. Anyways, this has got a date on it, so let's see what it is. 6043. So the P and the J doesn't count. The A and the 5 don't count. But the 6043 is going to be correct. So the 43rd day of 1986. So 1986 had the pouch stands. Did 87s have them? Maybe. I can't remember. I've got to get an 87 and open it up. We also have, hey, look at that, pears, and they're good. In good shape. Got a little dent right there. I guess it was just packaged that way. It's not like it got smashed or anything, I don't think. But if you feel it right here, there's freeze-dried peach that got sealed or dust, kind of. That's not delamination or anything of the packaging. That's just crumbs that are in there. Like pear dust in this instance. That's weird. Huh. If there's enough room in there that's shaking around, but it's very well vacuum sealed. That's surprising. Sounds like a little maraca. Huh. How about that? Or a little rattlesnake. Yeah. And last but not least, we have our beef diced with gravy. Hopefully it will be good. What is our date? It's going to be... Jeez. That's it, but it's not readable. It's not legible. I see a 6. That looks like a 1. I have no clue what that is. That looks like a little 2 right there above my fingernail, but I don't think that's a number there. And it looks like a 9 at the end here. There's a 6. Man, that sucks. It's really just isn't legible. Oh, crap. I messed that all up. Dang it. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right. Let's look at the other side. Nope, nothing. It'll be on the pouch itself as well. Sometimes it's just stamped on there. Let's take a look at the ingredients list before because there is no nutritional information on any of this. So it just is what it is. Roughly the MRE run around 1,300 calories in this day. And I would say this is a solid 13 plus 100 calorie meal. I mean, with the cocoa beverage powder, the crackers are calorie dense. That brownie's really calorie dense. Fruit, not so much. It's probably like 100 calories, 120 calories. This main, though, on the other hand, is probably pretty calorie dense as well. And it was packed by Land O'Frost Incorporated out of Lansing, Illinois. 60438. Anybody in Lansing, Illinois, your zip code would still be the same, huh? Beef, it is chunked and formed. So you got the pressed and formed crap, which I don't think this really is, if I remember right. Anyway, then the second ingredient. So we're starting off real strong. Let's be honest. We're starting off real good with just beef as the first ingredient is amazing. Water as the second ingredient, which is absolutely fine with me. I have no issues with that. And then we get into the modified food starch, and then wheat flour, tomato paste good, salt good, corn oil, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Dehydrated onions good, hydrolyzed vegetable protein, so TVP, HVP, sorry, hydrolyzed, so rehydrated vegetable protein, sugar, sugar, natural flavorings. I've heard bad things about when they say that. Maltodextrin, monosodium glutamate, vegetable shortening, so yeah, partially hydrogenated soybean and or cottonseed oil. And then you got your caramel color, which is, yeah, again. And then you got spice, disodium isonate, and disodium glutamate. Glutamate, wait. Nope. I can't pronounce that. Guyanlat? Disodium guyanlat? I don't know if I've ever said that word before. New to me. New to me. Let's find a date on this bad boy. There we go. That weird packaging, some circles on it. It's so weird. Oh, we got a 22 stamped on there. Yep, 22 stamped on there. That's weird. Here we go. Beef diced with gravy. 6049. That was the same date that was on the jelly, wasn't it? Is that the same date? Nope, 4-3. So yeah, we're right on. Made within 6 days of each other. Very cool. Very cool. All right, I'm gonna go through this in some hot water. Be right back. Set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Counting down.
Got 5 minutes. Try to get everything else put together real quick. Let's go through the gambit here. Get rid of this. Right there's the model number on it. That's literally the only way I'd know to tell you to look it up. 1911-017A. And it's a Gerber. And to release the blade, you press up on that. And then love this knife. It's a great knife. Automatically kind of goes into a half lock position, but press up on it, and that's what releases the blade. If not, I mean, it's got a little give to it though. Kind of don't like that, but I don't think it would let loose. How many times am I going to hit that? Goodness. All right, let me try this one more time right here. All right, there we go. It's really crooked. Definitely lopsided on one side here. That's better, I think. Okay. Got our pouch stand. Oh, I got my tray upside down. Crap all all over my tray. Huh. I've tried to get my son to use these trays before because I've got a couple and they're awesome to eat off of. He doesn't usually want to use them. All right, there we go. Pears. Accessory packet we got to open. Brownie. Crackers. Spoon. And jelly. All right, let's open up the accessory packet. Need a 1966 tray, Kaylin. Birth year. Is that what that is? 66. I don't know how common. See, I can't think off the top of my head running into a 66 on the tray. But I know if you keep your eye open and keep looking on eBay, you probably will come across one, as long as they were still putting dates on them in 1966, which they should have been. All right. First off, we got our United States issued booty ration here. Made by Toughco. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Or napkin, paper towel, whatever you prefer. We've got our cream substitute, dry, non-dairy. Feels like it's in good shape. Oh, we got some real good looking green, chiclet style gum. All right, I'll go get that after we get through the pack. We got some iodized salt. It should be 4 grams, yep. Diamond Crystal Salt Company. Who made this? Beatrice Companies Incorporated. And we got our coffee instant type 1, made by General Foods Corporation, Food Service Products Division, White Plains, New York. And we got our sugar. We got 6 grams of sugar. Yum. And we have our matches, of course. These are going to be, there we go, D.D. Bean and Sons, of course, North Carolina. And they are strike on back. White tip black matches. Good looking pack of matches. All right, be right back. Let me go get the beef diced gravy out. Right. Got it wrapped up in a towel to keep it warm. Let's get it. All right. Gum. TP. Definitely don't need the salt. Won't need the matches. Everything else, though, we shall need. All right. Cocoa beverage powder is going into the Tim Tam cup. Look at the bottom of that. See how that's like got those stains in it? Those don't come out. It's kind of weird. They've just kind of gradually happened. I seen a chat there a minute ago. There's an AK made company. All the gun shows think they're called Denali knives. Made some cool knives. Yeah, I don't know. This has been one of my favorites. I've got this one and then a Kershaw that I really, really, really liked. Loved that Kershaw. And I have been meaning to replace the Kershaw because I broke the tip of it off. About that much of it. Can't remember what I was doing when it happened, but I did break the tip of it off. That happened. But for open packaging like this, like, you cannot go wrong with one of these little IFAK knives. These little survival kit knives. But you can get these real cheap in lots of 10, 20, 100. You can get them super cheap, and they are awesome. They last a long time, and you can replace the blades in them. I just don't know where to get the blades at for these. It just pulls out of there. I've carried this one in my pocket at one point. It got all dusty. All right. Cocoa beverage powder that I've been looking forward to. I want to just actually fix some Nestle's last night, and I tasted just the powder, and it just tasted, I don't know, it tastes like sugar. It was all wrong. All right, let's see if it's good. I'm sure, just about sure it is. Okay, so I halfway missed my mouth. I could eat this powder with a spoon. No joke. I love it. There's something, I don't know, very different about this versus every other cocoa beverage powder that I have tried to replicate this with. This has a very rich chocolate flavor that doesn't fall short. Like, the sugar doesn't kind of overtake like all the rest do. Stella. This is the best cocoa beverage powder that I know of. Like, I've had all the big brands, all the expensive stuff, all the cheap stuff. I've had it all. This is by far, and I mean by far, the best cocoa beverage powder that you can get your hands on. It's just too bad that you gotta open up a vintage ration just to be able to get the cocoa beverage powder. All right, gotta go get water for that. Now we're going to use our YouTube Delicious MRE cup. Go subscribe to the Delicious channel. And I didn't get this cup clean. Huh. That's unlike me. All right, hold on. Gotta go clean this cup out. Can't believe I didn't get it cleaned out. I don't know how you did, because I returned the ones for this week. It's still a little bit wet in there, but it doesn't matter. We're going to start off with the sugar, so the coffee doesn't get a little damp to start with. The sugar looks perfect. Disappears in the bottom of the cup. We'll go ahead and put the coffee in next. This is some awesome coffee. I will eventually, one of these days, I will replicate this coffee. It's on my bucket list of things to do, is to create this exact type of instant coffee and market it. So that's one thing that I actually have a goal to do. There's a date on this, 6002. This was made on January 2nd of 1986. So how old is that? January 2nd, 86. We're almost to 5, so it's it'll be 39 years old in a couple months. Is that right? I think that's right. Look at that. Just perfect. And you really couldn't ask for it to look any better than that. It looks exactly like it did the day that it went in this package. Love it. Oh, spicy tuna roll back. Hey. There we go. Every morsel of that out of there. And that is still the 2.2 grams net with ascorbic acid, of course. And we will add almost 40-year-old creamer that actually has a tendency to go bad sometimes. You know, depending on how it was stored is really the deciding factor, I guess, because I've had them good, bad, and in between. This, on the other hand, looks brand new. That looks like the day it was packed. This MRE appears to be in amazing condition, just like most of the ones that Gabe got me are. I think I had 1 or 2 bad ones so far out of the ones I got from him, or that he gave me. All right, I'm gonna go put some water in these. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Cocoa beverage powder, coffee. Let's give it a stir real quick, because this, oh yeah. Go get yourself a treat. Go on, go get a treat. All right, well, you don't have to, just be quiet then. Stop whining. I don't care if you're quiet, just don't whine. What happened was that when his 50 cal decided to let go. I mean, it's funny now, but still. Yeah, but I mean, still, it ain't supposed to fail like that. There is a way on RFK's website where you can make suggestions. All right. Get up. Go on. Anyway, there's a place on RFK's website where you can go and make like a civilian or what do they call it? It's suggestions for cabinet members or whatever. And I did see that like 27,000 people had went and suggested Brandon Herrera for head of the ATF, if I'm not mistaken, since we're talking about YouTube channels. Okay, some of this is like stuck to the cup, it feels like. All right, some stuck to the spoon for sure. This has got a head on it. I don't know. No, I'll just stir it and you can see it go away. We'll come right back. Good stuff. All right. For the English side, we got to go that direction. All right. Let's get the crackers opened up. Let me put this pouch stand up. I always save these because they're not very common at all. I would have to say that they are a collectible. They are rare. And there's a lot of people out there that don't have any of them. So look at that. You can see the salt right through the package. But I guarantee it's not salty like the first generation ones. These are second generation. So very good. Very, very good. 1 pound fish. Very, very good. 2 pound fish. Very, very good. Look at that. Well, yeah, you can see the salt on them. Let's see if we can zoom in here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Booyah. That's a salty cracker. Mm-hmm. That looks real good. Boom. Top one's saltier, obviously. It's got a little crack in it right there. But you know what? Like, why can't our crackers hold up like this still? I think these were a little more baked, yeah, but, I mean, there's more to the story than that. Like, the formula, the actual ingredients and everything is just, they don't compare. Look at the salt. These are true first-generation crackers. I don't know if these were like leftovers from the first generation, but I've had 86s, 87s that were not salty like this. The last ones I had, as a matter of fact, that I recall, were not salty like this. Those look awesome. Trying authentic foods from around the world is awesome. It's a very awesome thing to get to do, especially by just trying out their military food. I mean, how much more authentic do you get than trying the foods that they'll feed their troops? You hear that thing? I mean, really. That's like a little brick. It really is like a little brick, too. Just, it feels like a little brick. I guess it kind of, like, you could do things with this. That thing might, like, the right distance, that thing right there might stop a bullet if you had it in your pocket. I'm half joking. There you go. It's stuck to that side. Mmm. Yum, yum. Yum, yum. You see the form in the plastic around it? Flip it over. Looks better on this side, kind of. It doesn't look bad. Don't get me wrong. That looks appetizing. Visually, it passes the test. Let's see what it smells like. It smells like, it smells like sorbitol. Does not, I mean, there's a faint hint of chocolate. It has a rather burning effect to the scent, to the inhale. So I can pretty much guarantee you just from that, it's going to be bad. Let's look inside. Cross section, this bad boy. Okay. Well, there you go. I guess there's a little bit of brownie in there. That kind of looks like cookie, and it's real hard like cookie. Obviously, plenty of nuts. Be walnuts in there. Looking at it makes my mouth water. I am hungry. I have not eaten since last night. I mean, I'm not real hungry, but I'm hungry enough that this is looking good. That brownie is making my mouth water. So yeah, I'm a little hungry, I guess. All right, grape jelly. I've got to find some more vintage MREs, guys. Got to find some more that I can have on live streams and just enjoy in general. And we will open the pears. We'll open those in a minute. We'll open those last, because I have a feeling the humidity in the air has been raining. It's not going to be good for them. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Beef diced with gravy. Coming right up. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, it's good and hot. Good and hot. Why does that always happen? Every time, like right when you get to the end, the last inch or so of it, it usually, that's why there's crap on my walls over there, on my boards, and it's delaminating. Now, I will say this is not the most appetizing looking meal. There's no question. It doesn't, yeah, it looks like something else. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. Yeah. Look at that. Ow, ow, ow. It's hot. It's actually really hot. A rancid nut. Sounds like something you'd call somebody. All right, let me dump this out. Look at that. That little morsel of meat. Look at the meat in there. That's supposed to be pressed and formed. I don't think it is. Anyway, all right. Here, let's see how much of it we can get out of here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. This is like beef stew without the... it's like beef stew with just beef. Kind of. Oh, it looks so bad. That looks so wrong in so many ways. It looks like refried beans. Kind of. Like runny refried beans. Which is never a good thing. Okay, sorry. Got that all over my hands. Go in there. Do a quick wash. All right. Where's my spoons? There's one. All right. Oh no. Look at that. It's all gelatinous and floppy and so ugly. Let me at least mix it up a little bit to make it look a little better. Man, that is one of the ugliest mains. All right. Smell wise though, I smell some spices in there. I smell like some onion. Obviously, I smell the gravy. The gravy has a very hearty onion beef base. Pleasant. It does have a pleasant smell to it. The scent is not bad. And we're not going to fool around. We're going to go right in for the some fat up in there. It doesn't matter. Going in for one of the better looking pieces of beef. Let's try to get a cross section on it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's certainly pressed and formed right there. Anyway, let's down the hatch. Okay. A little dry. Beef's a little dry. Got a little bit of a tang to it. A little bit of a bitterness. But if you can get past that, the beef itself, texture's nice. Really nice. Soft. Like I said, it's a little dry, but no, not really a metallic tang. I really don't. I only left it in there for 5 minutes, as you guys saw. I don't have any residual effects in my tongue. The tang that I'm talking about is like a. It's like a what I would call like a mix between a bitterness and a tang. It's a almost like a tannin with a tea or a coffee. That kind of a dry bitterness that it's got, and it's very similar to that, and that has it going on. The beef itself, it tastes like some high quality beef. Actually, it doesn't taste like bottom of the shelf crap. It tastes like decent meat. It tastes like a decent piece of roast. Not bad. Better than I had expected. And we got a super chat. Where is it? Super chat somewhere. Oh man. Eat it, eat it, eat it, Brad's Journey says. You got it. You got it, man. Thank you for the super chat, Brad. I appreciate that, man. Really, I do. You're too kind. So far, no weird side effects. Man, it's got a big old chunk of fat on it. Not a big fan of the old fat, but, you know, I'll eat it. Let's just, you know, I'm going all in. That looks like a nice chunk there on the end. It's got the nice grainy texture that beef is supposed to have. As you can see, the grains going up and down there. Perfect. Exactly what I want to see in my beef. Now, you do see the fat kind of shining through right there. And it's not super fatty, but it's a little fatty. The gravy is exactly like the flavor of the meat. The meat and the gravy taste exactly like they have the same flavor. Other than the texture, flavor-wise, they both taste the same. All right. Here we go. We're not gonna mess around with little bites today. And usually, the more you eat of something like this, like like in particular this dish, different flavors will come out at you the more you eat it. And I would not say that it's exactly something you get used to or it starts to taste bland or anything like that, because that's not the case. Now, I don't have a mouth coating or anything happening, which is great. Because that's, when I've had old meat that was bad, you know, it smelled good, looked good, but, and then you eat it, and it usually coats your mouth. Your tongue feels like, those donuts, there's like, donut sticks, if you eat one of those, how to like coat your tongue and the roof of your mouth. That's kind of the feeling that you get from it. This is not doing that. This is perfectly edible. I mean, I'm sure it's lost some of its nutritional value over the years, but I don't think it's lost much. These crackers are stiff. Oh man, I did not mean to do that. All right, well, I'm gonna get that bite. It's got a little gravy on it then. Wow. Wow. Super salty. Very flavorful though. It's got a really nice toast to it. Very well toasted. Nice caramelization that's happened with the outside of these crackers. The salt is, oh, these are just chef's kiss. These are perfect. These are the perfect MRE cracker. I'm telling you. Texture's great. They're they're kind of stiff. They seem like, but they're not. They're very easy to eat. Man, now you do get a little bit of like the wow, I'm blanking. It does not taste like a saltine, even though it looks like a saltine. These do not taste like saltines. They've got a much more rich flavor. They're savory. They're good. These are good. It's going to be really good with this beef. Beef. What's for dinner? I'm doing it all. All that. Yep. Here we go. The salt actually adds a little bit of an enhancement to it. And the cracker's texture is nice as well. A little change of the meat. That is so good. I wish I had 10 more packs of crackers like that. Those two make a great team. I'm here to tell you. I got some old Tabasco sitting here. I tried this last week. This Tabasco's pretty hot. It's pretty dark, as you can see. The plastic's like a little foggy. It's kind of weird. Anyway. Hopefully it'll come out this time. I'm gonna try a little Tabasco with a little cracker. There we go. Okay. All right. Initially, I didn't like it, but Tabasco's. Oh, look at my jelly leaking out there. Would you look at that? Just look at it. Ed Bassmaster. Love that guy. Funny. That look at it skit from like I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. It's been a long time ago. Awesome. Where he's looking at the car. The Tabasco, I'm not going to say ruins it, but I think it's better without it. Although, after I eat about half of this, I might want a little bit of a change with some Tabasco. And that wasn't as hot as I remember it last week. Kind of weird. Man, I could eat these crackers up so fast. They are so good. Look at that salt. Almost 40-year-old beef. This should not be good. It looks awful. Tastes awesome. I'm gonna ration my crackers here. What's flavor from lard? Spicy? Donut holes served times in elementary school were nasty. Like that coated inside your mouth. Yeah, I didn't like that either. I'm not so sure that's from lard or not, though. I don't think donut sticks use lard. They might though. They might. That could be. But my grandma used to cook with lard when I was a kid, and I don't remember it coating my mouth like that. Anything she cooked. She'd use that nasty Crisco stuff. She'd use lard. She'd save all of her like bacon and hamburger drippings in a jar together. And she'd cook a lot with that. Yep. I'm gonna do one more Tabasco bite right now. The Tabasco kind of got to my throat. That bite had a lot of Tabasco on it. You can see the Tabasco like just chilling right there. Trying to think what this would be good with. I mean, you could add it to just about anything, like macaroni and cheese. Mashed potatoes would be killer with this. Just dump it on top of the mashed potatoes. Have a roll. It'd be awesome. It is missing like something like potatoes. I feel like would go great with this. If this had like chunks of potato in it, oh, or some rice, Sparrow, yes, rice would be this. That'd be killer with some rice because that gravy would soak down into the rice. Oh man, that's a really good idea. It's just so rare to get a beef diced with gravy that's this good. It really is rare. This is not a menu that typically holds up. This is a menu that's typically bad or missing. One or the other. And in this case, it's not missing and it's not bad. And these crackers, my gosh, I can't get over how good they are. They're really good. Really good crackers. All right, here. Sometimes people don't think that I eat this stuff, but obviously. Probably shouldn't be eating this stuff, but I'm telling you, like I said, this is better than just about anything that I could get right now off the shelf that's processed. Like a modern beef stew, or there's nothing like this that you can go buy that I know of. I mean, you can just go buy beef in a can, but maybe you can buy beef and gravy. Probably can. It ain't gonna be like this though. What is it? Donut sticks, rectangle, sweet coated and glazed. Yep, denser than normal donut. Yeah, it's more like a cakey, like a not quite a cake donut though. It's weird. Is it? I don't know. How you? Kind of like aerated. It was a pretty kind of loose cake. It wasn't really. I mean, it's dense, but it wasn't like smashed together dense. It was just dense. I think they still sell them. Yeah, they definitely do. My camera's collapsing. But yeah, pretty good description, Elandil. Wait, no, that was Multi-Magnum, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they still sell them. The donut sticks. Yeah, they do. It ain't been that long since we've had some ourselves. We probably had some in the house in the past couple years, I would say. Not something I'm a fan of. I don't like the way they coat my mouth. Amber used to like them, I think. Apple cinnamon donut sticks? I've never seen those before. French toast waffle sticks? Say what? If I see those, I'm going to get me some because I'm a huge fan of French toast. I can't remember what I was watching. I was watching something. Oh, that guy that does food reviews on TikTok. What's his name? What is his name? They call it the sun. Like when he comes by, they call it the whatever his name is. The effect that he has on a business. People lining up outside. I cannot remember his name. Anyway, place in Las Vegas. Making a. It's like there was a bacon one. They're breakfast sandwiches, but the bread on the outside is this huge, thick piece of. I think it must have been white bread, but they turn it into French toast, and oh my goodness, like you could like scrape. One lady scraped her nails across it, and somebody else like used something to scrape across it, and it had like this hard caramelized layer of egg and cinnamon and milk and everything that you do to make French toast. I make some pretty good French toast. But anyway, that place in Las Vegas, when I go to Las Vegas, that is a destination that I will not leave Las Vegas without having me one of them sandwiches. Might be brioche bread. I don't think it was brioche. It could be, but it's special bread, and it's like, I think it's like about that big, and they make a split down the middle. I don't think it's 2 pieces of bread. That way it kind of keeps everything inside, and they kind of stuff it like a pocket. I'm telling you. Well, no, I don't have TikTok on my other phone anymore. Dang it. My stuff is falling apart down here. What the heck? There we go. Jason, are there some MREs out there that are reasonably priced? If you're talking about fresh MREs, after you factor in inflation, yeah, they're still reasonable. I mean, they're still less than $10 a piece. Like right now, I know there's cases on eBay right now that are like 95, ship. That, to me, that's a lot. Because I used to want to pay like 50, 60 bucks for a case, like $5 a piece. But with inflation, that's impossible. Shipping prices went up. Yeah. Are there vintage, like the best place you're going to find fair priced vintage type MREs and stuff would be at a show. And even now, like the people, they all know what they got. 98.999% of the time. So like 1.1% of the time, or yeah, 1.1% of the time, you might find somebody that'll cut you a good deal. It's rare. Yeah, John, if you get a case for 70 and then you're trying to ship it to somebody, it's going to cost another 35, 40 bucks to ship it to them, depending on where they're at. Which is about what they're going for. You know, anywhere in between 95 and 115. Some people are like charging $175 for a case of MREs. They can keep them. Unless they are 2024s that were made in October or sooner, November, ain't no way I'd pay $175, $200 for a case of MREs. No way. Plus, for me, in my opinion, most of the time, menu-wise, the older the better. Cliff, somebody asked where I'm at. I'm in West Virginia, yeah. Is that what happened? Oh. Yeah, my accent's West Virginian. I've tried to not have such an accent, although I do slip sometimes. And then part of it is I can't get rid of it. It's just ingrained into my, well, I mean, I'm sure I could. The more time I spent away from here and away from people that, most people, I would say, yeah, probably most. I would say it's definitely more 60 to 75% of people have a much thicker accent. When I was growing up, I grew up when I was little until I was about 8, 9, and then I moved to Ohio for a stretch, but right across the river. Like I still live in the same area. I went to high school. I made it to high school over there. Then I came back over here, took 2 years of welding, got state certified in MIG, TIG, and stick, and then I went back to Ohio and finished up my last 2 years driving from West Virginia to Ohio to finish up my high school career. Like I didn't go past high school, really. I mean, technical school or whatever. I have some job. What would that be? What is that? Vocational, not degrees, but certifications. I'm going to end up eating half the crackers with the beef. After 20 plus years of living in Arkansas, my brother picked up the southern accent, and he was born in Iowa. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 20 years spending your time down south or whatever, you will certainly pick up cues from the people that you surround yourself with. Oh, that looks weird. That's a weird looking piece of beef. It's awful dark. Alright, I ain't gonna eat that. That piece. I want another bite with Tabasco. I'm done with the beef for now. Can't do the hot and humid in the summer. Yeah, our summers are pretty warm. But, you know, this summer wasn't that bad. We had, I'd say, a couple pretty hot weeks, but other than that, like, it was pretty mild. We've had some pretty extremely mild winters over the past, probably not quite, yeah, probably 10 years. But we had one of the worst winters that I've ever experienced, cold-wise, not snow-wise, but cold-wise. I want to say it was probably about 12 years ago. I think it was like 2012, 2000, might have been 14. But it was cold enough that even with boats still pushing and breaking ice going up, they could only make it right up the middle of the river, but it got to the point where they couldn't even do that. But the entire Ohio River froze over, and where I live. Never happened in my lifetime. My grandpa used to tell me stories of when he was a kid ice skating on the Ohio River, which hadn't been a thing in a long time. And that was when I was a kid. That was in the 90s. And I know he'd done that when he was a kid, and that would have been in like the 30s, late 20s, early 30s. But this is the coffee, right? I think this is the coffee. I need a palate cleanser. Government must have massive amounts of surplus MREs. Where we buy those for cheap? Where can we buy those for cheap? I mean, honestly, like, you can go to like gun shows and stuff like that, and you'll run into guys that set up and sell rations and freeze-dried food and beans. Like, they'll sell like bulk beans and stuff. You run into some rations at places like that. Easiest place is eBay. I mean, really, is eBay's like the easiest, and it used to be the best place. I don't know really anymore. There's not really a best place to get them anymore, because eBay kind of went on this strike against MREs, and kind of bull crap. Now, I am a cream and sugar guy. I'm a fully loaded guy. That is such a perfectly well-balanced cup of coffee, in my opinion. It does have some pretty strong tannins, like that kind of a dry, almost slight bitterness to it, but it's got kind of a dry mouth feel to it. And then the creamer comes right in after that with a little bit of the sweetness from the sugar and just balances it right. It's just an amazing cup of coffee. It depends, like, everybody's palate's different when it comes to coffee or a cigarette or any food, really, obviously. But everyone's taste palate is different in ways. A lot of people have a lot of similarities. A lot of people, you know, if I describe a food to you, you can at least know what to expect. It may not taste exactly the same to you, description-wise, as it does to me. but it'll be similar, you know. I feel like I'm pretty decent. I've gotten pretty decent at describing food over the years. That's obviously a goal of mine, is to be accurate and tell the truth about whatever it is that I may be trying. Somebody in a diesel. Oh. Congratulations, world's best cup of coffee. I don't get it, actually. What's up with the world's best cup of coffee? See you later, John. Appreciate you hanging out, my man. All right, let's finish this ration up, because I got this stupid brownie over here that I'm not going to guarantee you it's going to be bad, but it's probably going to be bad. And I got to try to clean up that jelly dollop right there. There is that cross section of this brownie that I'm just going to be honest, that I'm not looking forward to putting into my mouth. But look how much thicker the chocolate is on the top right there, from those waves of chocolate that cascaded over top of it. Again, it stinks. It smells like a piece of trash that if you were to pick up a piece of trash at like a baseball field, I think it would smell like this. It's kind of got a little bit of leather scent to it. A little bit of grease, or I don't know what that is. It smells funky, though. It does not smell good. Like, it doesn't smell like chocolate at all. I smell the sorbitol. Absolutely. And that definitely has a nose feel to it that's kind of a stinging, like a harshness to it. Kind of like if you were to take a whiff of liquor, how you'd get a nose tingle or something from that. You get that from this. But here we go. Let's give it a try. Okay. It's actually different than I thought it was going to be. Okay, my entire mouth is coated, exactly like we discussed earlier, with a waxy coating. It certainly the nuts are rancid. Stinging my tongue, which I guess that could be expected. But I don't know, man. It's something different, something weird with these brownies, man. I'm telling you. This is a rather edible one in its grand scheme of things, but it's still not. I wouldn't call that food. I don't even know if it was really food. Again, like when it rolled off the assembly line, I don't even know if that was food then. It's texture-wise, much more of a cookie than a brownie. Very crunchy. Can't tell the difference between the texture of the brownie and the nuts. They have the exact same texture, which is weird. It tastes like the sorbitol that has went bad is very potent. I'm telling you, my entire mouth is just like I've been eating candles or something. Like I took a lit candle and just ate it from the bottom, with the liquid wax just dripping down into my mouth, and I swirled it around my mouth as quickly as I could before it hardened up. It's just like, no it ain't. It's more intense than like those donut sticks, like I said. And I do not like it. It's edible. It is edible. Like if you were desperate for food and hadn't eaten in 3 days, It wouldn't taste good, but you could eat it. And there's a little bit of calories that are going to remain in this rather broken down food item. It does have a follow-up sweetness that kind of gives off a chocolate note to it, which is kind of weird because I really didn't taste any chocolate until I had said everything that I just said up until a couple seconds ago. And I'm like, oh, a little bit of a chocolate flavor there. Now that everything's kind of settled down, the intensity is dialed down 20 notches from inside my mouth. It's a weird eat. It's a weird thing to eat. It's a weird experience, all the flavor differences that it goes through and the side effects of the bad nuts and the sorbitol, all the bad stuff. Yeah, it's just a weird product, man. Like I don't know. The old brownie is weird. I gotta wash that out of my mouth because my tongue is stinging more and more the longer I don't do something about it. That's usually not the case either. Usually it starts off intense and then it subsides. But this is the opposite this time. It's getting more intense the more I talk. And I kind of want to see how long this keeps going because not experienced this before. Like I said, usually my tongue will reverse from the very intense stinging to begin with, and then it'll taper off. It's gotten worse the longer I've talked. It's actually spreading throughout my tongue. All right, I'm going to try to rinse it out with this cocoa beverage powder a little bit. I don't want to waste my cocoa beverage powder just trying to clean out. Bad brownie. Bad brownie. Oh, cocoa beverage powder is amazing. And it actually brought some of that chocolate flavor out. My tongue is still stinging real bad, though. Like, way worse than normal. All right, I'm going to go for the coffee. I think the coffee has a better shot at helping me out. I feel like that needs more water. This is weird. It's not intense, like super intense or anything, but it's enough that it's noticeable. And it's also odd. It's weird that it's doing this. It's a really weird mix of flavors happening in my mouth right now. Bouncing from from this, and then this, and then this, and then getting like hints of this popping back up. And I almost have like a menthol effect when I take a breath in across my tongue. Whoa, yeah, this is all strange stuff. All right, let's try some crackers, jam. Maybe some of that salt will rub off the rancid oils and stuff that are stuck to my cheek and tongue. Now, this is just, it's just a liquid. I mean, and it's going to go everywhere. Dang it. Well, all right. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Whatever. I don't want it all in my beard. That doesn't look good, but it is. All right, let me wash my hand. Okay. Well, I'm not going to try that again. The grape jelly's awesome. Doesn't taste much like grape. It's just more of a pectin and sugar. I mean, a little fruity. A little bit. Now I'm going to get myself a bite and try this like Zapple sauce. I'm just going to, you know, get some right out of the pack, you know. Mmm. 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 That actually tastes like grape jelly, eating it that way. I don't know if it's where I just got so much more in my mouth than I have from the cracker where it leaks all off. Not very intense flavor of grape, but it's there. It's a hint. The fact that it's even still good is pretty astounding. I mean, it's brown in color, really. But it wouldn't be if you had it all in a jar. Storm Tracker, that's a good question. I was just thinking about that yesterday. I ain't heard nothing. Other than they caught one. My hands are still sticky. I didn't do a good job washing my hands. I just rinsed it off with water instead of using soap. It is pear time. Time for some pears. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. Huh. I didn't see that before. Do you see that? Printing on there? I'll be daggone. What does that even say? It says 86 at the end. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Blue ink like that. 1/3, January of 86. January 13th of 1986. Huh. That is the first time I've ever seen a date stamped on anything in that color, actually. I've never seen it inked on like that. That is awesome. I wish I'd have seen that and like realized what I was doing before I cut it right there. Because I will keep this project. Yeah, those poor monkeys. They don't deserve to be born and raised and tested on and just awful things done in a lab. I don't agree with what they're doing. Not at all. I'm still going to save this packaging. I hope I don't mess up the blue ink. Look at all the pieces in there. Look at them pears. Looks like frozen. Looks like a little bit of frozen fruit, doesn't it? Oh. Well. Alright. Let's give it a try. Some pieces of pears. Mmm. Huh. A little bit metallic. Kind of weird. I guess no more than what a fresh pear is. Sometimes you have like that little bit of a metallic tinge to a pear. Some dust. That's like eating Pop Rocks. Fruit flavor, like real fruit. That's what all that dust was rolling around in there. Kind of weird. See it all stuck to that? It's amazing. It tastes like a fully fresh pear flavor-wise. Obviously, texture's different, but flavor is perfect. All that little dust around it is some kind of like gel, like you get in those little fruit cups. But the pears themselves taste like fresh pears. It's not always the case. Like the peaches don't always necessarily taste like fresh peaches. But in this case, the pear flavor is intense. They're really good. I like that. Pears is one of my favorites. I like the mixed fruit too. I'd say strawberry's my favorite though. Yeah. It's rare. Strawberry is rare. Pears have like a weird, almost like a chemical flavor to them. And then like a little bit of an iron follow-up flavor to them as well. But I love a good ripe pear. Can't stand a pear that's not fully ripe though. Nasty. All right, my hands are super sticky. Got up underneath my ring. Be right back. I don't like the flavor that pears leave in your mouth as like an aftertaste either. Wash it out with a little coffee. That coffee will cure just about any bad flavor in your mouth. All right. Time to have a smoke. Tuna is your favorite. I'd say there's a lot of people that would say the exact same thing tuna-wise. I mean, not that they're a sous chef, but that tuna's their favorite. Let's have... I haven't had one of these in a long time, I don't think. I don't remember having one in ages. And they're my favorite. That delicious scent. I need to not smoke as many of them because they are legit I think my favorite cigarette that I've ever gotten before. Let me see how many I got left. Actually, I might not. I've only got 7 left. I will refrain. Let's go with just the pocket-sized Pall Malls. Let's have one of these. Or no, I had one of those recently, I think. Or no, was that a Canadian? And we'll go with something else. Marble Gold. Let's go with one of these Pall Malls right here. I do believe these were from Austria, if I'm not mistaken. These right here. I think that's what he said. I'm sure I could figure it out by looking up this tax stamp right here. Pall Mall. What's that say? Best what? What's that say? What's that say? Bestie what? I don't want to... I think I know what it says. Anyway. This pack is not full, but it's got like probably, I don't know, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's got 15 in there, so there's been 5 of them come out of here. And these are reds. Is it focusing? Red. Yeah, it's been a while since I had one of these. That tastes really strange. It's got a chalky, cardboardy. Don't taste like tobacco at all on the dry. You know, the dry drag there. Huh. Let's light this bad boy up with a Canadian match. One of these white packs from Atlas Match Company. Huh. I'm beginning to think that that brownie done something really weird to my mouth. Because I couldn't taste that at all. It's weird. And these are reds. I think I remember these being not strong, but healthy. Like, you know, they got a little bit of a punch to them. I just had to hit it like 4 times. Weird. I could taste it a little bit, but not like what I think I should. I'm having to double drag it too. Breathing out through my nose, I made it a little better. It's smooth. I'll give it that. Smooth. All right, topics to discuss. I mean, these are good too. These are good. Not the best like those all natural ones. Those all natural ones are amazing. Seriously, the best I've ever had. If you guys don't know who Delicious is, you ain't checked out his channel, you gotta hit that link down in my description, because he gets his hands on rations before a lot of people. He's been the first to review a lot of stuff. Not just Polish stuff where he's from either. He gets a lot of international stuff first. And that's how a lot of it, I shouldn't say that. We're thankful for his help. Y'all get what I'm saying. Anyway, how many of you guys, let me watch the chat. How many of you guys watched the fight last night? Wait a second. Watched the movie last night. Or I don't know what you want to call it. I know I can't be the only one. My palate's slowly coming back. That brownie did a number on me, though. Like, again, I typically don't experience the intensity continuing to rise, but that did happen for quite a few minutes. It's not usually the case. Usually it's like the initial hit and then it subsides, especially whenever you rinse your palate out. Not me. I only heard about it. I don't have access to Netflix at the moment. I got you. Cliff says it was a disgrace. Okay. I've got multiple trains of thought on this. First of all, I don't think Mike ruined his legacy, but he surely didn't help it much. Although he did look pretty good for 58. I'll give him that. his legs, and that's what Roy Jones Jr. kept saying. His legs didn't look that good, and I was talking to Amber. We were watching it last night, and I was talking to her, and I was like, I kind of understand what he's saying about his because his legs, he just wasn't doing footwork. He came out bouncing around a little bit, kind of getting into it, and then he stopped. And I seen him kind of bob around a few times. The last round, he came out and tried to do it a little bit in the 8th round, but I pulled up a video while we were watching it, and I cannot remember how long ago it was, but Tyson was at Muhammad Ali's house, and Muhammad Ali's daughter was sitting there. I think it was Muhammad Ali. I'm pretty sure it's Muhammad Ali's daughter. I've seen her around some. What'd she say? She said, "Mike, show him," and he does the shuffle, the Muhammad Ali shuffle, and his feet were. He had the footwork at that moment. Like, that had to have been a solid 10 years ago, I would say. So Tyson still had his footwork at 48, I would say. I'm not exactly sure when that video was taken, but I'm going to guess and say it was roughly about 10 years ago. Might have been longer ago than that. I don't think so, though. But you guys, if you haven't seen the video, you probably, maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. And yes, Cliff, he made $20 million for acting like he was fighting. That's what I cannot knock Mike for taking the payday. He doubled his net worth. Well, I mean, he trained a lot. So let's be honest. Like, he put a solid year's worth of work into it. But he made $20 million for a year's worth of work, right? It's been about a year, right? A little over. I mean, he was training real hard, and then he had the health problem, and they didn't fight. I can try to show you guys that video that I'm talking about. And, of course, look, got Google pulled up. What's the first thing up on Google? Are you listening? Hey, Margaret. Purse salaries, how much did each fighter earn for the epic event? We already know. Well, I don't know how much Jake... Here, let me click into that. I don't know how much Jake got paid. Jake Paul picked up his biggest win of his career. Yeah, he won. Yeah, I would say he didn't win. Like, man, I mean, I get it. It's cool to fight. And Jake was pulling his punches. I don't care what anybody says. I watched him do it. Also, I don't think Mike let loose in the first round. Like, Mike might have been able to knock him out in that first round if he'd have just let loose. But I think they were both. Mike did hit him hard, and it looked like Jake got scared for a second. Like, he kind of, you could see the fear. He's like, oh, man, this old man can still hit. And he stepped back a little bit, and he was backing up and was staying backed up. And I thought, Tyson might actually do this for just a second, or that first round. And Amber said something to me. I said, Mike's only good for 3 rounds. Like, that's kind of always been his MO. Yes, he's went further in rounds, but Mike is a get in and get out kind of guy. Like, that's his career. That's how he's always been. He wants to get in, get the knockout, and he's carrying extra weight and he's got a lot of muscle on him, and he's burning through that oxygen like crazy is what I saw. But where's the earnings? Let's see. So Jake Paul made $40 million last night. Now, my personal criticisms are Netflix had one of the largest opportunities in the world, because this was a worldwide popular event. Like, there were people all over the world that were hyped up to see this. Netflix had the opportunity to put on a very outstanding event, and I feel like it was, I don't even know if I'd call it mediocre. Now, I'm not going to knock, like, well, yeah, I am. The way Jake Paul came out was And then to be wearing claiming to be wearing $1 million robe and shorts, like a diamond chain hanging off of it or something goofy like that. It said it was $1 million. Why? First of all, why? Second of all, like, people are struggling and stuff right now. And then to just do something, it's like, people, I get you're feeding into the villain side of your character or whatever, because that's what he's doing, playing a character. It's like we're all living in a movie, and that's exactly what I said before the night even started. I was like, it's like we're all living in a movie. Everything's already scripted out. This is how it's going to go. And she asked me how I thought it was going to go, and I said, well, Mike comes in and knocks him out. Then maybe it was a real fight. But if they come in and it is a drawn out fight, then it was probably orchestrated. And there were too many instances where I saw Jake pull his punches, and I saw where I feel like Mike was kind of not, the way he kept just biting on his thumb. And then at the end, of course, the comment that they made, and in the very end, the little camera pan at the end, just to make headlines out of nothing. Netflix dropped the ball. Netflix could have really shown what a live event, their first live streamed event could have been. And I feel like they dropped the ball. I feel like they probably are going to lose viewers to their next live event, which is some WWE event, which I would never watch anyway. The fact that Logan Paul is a popular WWE or whatever it is now, WWF, I don't know what it is anymore. The fact that he is a popular wrestler just kind of says a lot, in my opinion. People are like, oh yeah, he's actually pretty good. Yeah, because he's been playing a character since he was a kid. Been playing the villain since he was a kid on YouTube. Like, he's been a villain on YouTube. I don't know. Let's see. iDubbbz years. We're probably talking like, what, 2014, 2015, somewhere along in there. So he's got almost 10 years of playing the villain online. The first incident was him that I remember being a big controversy, was him claiming that he was colorblind and putting those glasses on and crying and acting like he could see color when he's not. He was never colorblind. And then the second one was where he went to the forest over in Japan. That was a big incident. And then it's just, he's had like so many scandals in the past few years that none of them really stick out real big. They're just all bad, Done the same thing Mr. Beast is doing, like taking advantage of his viewers, his subscribers, doing a crypto scam, which I think he done a few actually. NFT scam, maybe. I don't know. I didn't keep up with it. I just know it happened. Something along the lines of the digital era of collecting either tokens or NFT. I guess they're cards. They call them cards. Anyway, he done something with those and promoted it. Bought a bunch of it, or already had a bunch of it bought. Promoted it. Got his fans to buy a bunch of it, and while they were buying, driving the price up, he sold. And then he also created one and had a bunch of people buy in, and then they never gotten anything for it or something like that. Something crazy like that. The crypto scams that social media influencers have pulled are certainly criminal. I don't know how they get away with that stuff, really. They're just robbing people. Mr. Beast done the same thing as recently, a couple of them. Allegedly, I can't say exactly. I mean, I can say what I seen on a video. I watched CoffeeZilla's video about it, and I was, I don't know. I don't know how I didn't necessarily see that coming, but he's also not shown that he's got a lot of ethics when it comes to the way he runs his company or his companies. I feel like there's not a lot of balance between good and bad there. I think he just goes all in on the wrong people. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know, but it's certainly been it's shaping up to change things. I feel like the stuff that these people are doing, they're going to get rich from it. They already have, which Mr. Beast, I think he made like $14 million on one of them or something, like allegedly. I can't remember how much Logan's was. I think there was one of them that was a couple million. And, you know, maybe that's not a lot of money to them. But to the people that were spending $50, $100, $1,500 of their extra money on it, that might, you know, especially expecting it to do something because he's telling them that it's going to be good. I don't know. I disagree with a lot of that, and you don't have to support it, I guess. I mean, that's one thing I can do is just not support it. Hey, Nathan. Oh, hey, thanks for the super chat, man. It's good to see you, man. Let's see there. Hey, looking good in the picture there, man. I can't. Is there a lake in the background there? Yeah, lake. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Yay, celebration. Thank you for the super chat, man. It's good to see you here, dude. Yeah, all right. Nathan, way back. Some of you guys in the chat might remember Nathan from way back. Let's see, that was probably 2017-ish, 18-ish, when you first come around. No problem, brother. I'm at the VA in Augusta, Maine. Last time I talked to you, I was... Oh, you was at homeless shelter. Oh, man, I don't remember that. I mean, I remember talking to you, but I don't remember you being at a shelter. Got some kidney issues, man. That sucks, dude. Dude, I reckon Atlantic Ocean. So you're up in Maine? At a VA. Dang, dude. Man. 2017. I knew it was back there somewhere. I knew it was back around. So 17. How many years has that been now? We're coming up on 25. So 3, let's see, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So a solid 8 years. A solid 8 years ago. Man, I've been on the internet for a long time now, y'all. That's something I never expected to say. If you'd have asked me 10 years ago, yeah, that'd have been 2015. No, it'd been 2014. If you'd have asked me in 2014 if I ever dreamed or thought that I'd end up being on the internet for any period of time, for that matter. I was hardcore, like, against technology when it, like, smartphones when they first came out. I mean, I'd watch some YouTube here and there. Never really thought about being a creator or doing anything with it. And then, I mean, my whole life changed. But, I mean, I don't want to ask too many questions, but it sounds like the kidney issue isn't very good if you're just looking to see the beginning of the year. So that's only a couple months. You can get transplants, but and I know that's difficult with the kidneys because you're always on, always be on dialysis, I believe. Maybe not. I got a buddy which it was his sister, and my other buddy ended up marrying his sister later on. So I got one of my buddies, it's her wife, and my other buddy, it's his sister, that she had her kidneys replaced when we were in high school, and they failed, and she lost them, but she got another 1 or 2. I don't know if she got 1 or 2, but she got a second chance on the kidney replacement. She was younger at the time. She was probably like 20. Let's see, we were probably 15. She was probably 20, 21 maybe. She's a few years older than us, 5, 6 years older than us. So that's crazy. One of my buddies ended up marrying her too. Pretty crazy. But anyway, she got him the second time, and obviously she's on medication for the rest of her life to maintain him. But I don't think she does dialysis or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely want to see you get through this for sure. I don't know. I mean, I don't think. I know there are things that you can do to reverse virtually anything that is wrong with the human body. Your willingness to do it and explore the I guess, alternative methods. They're not really alternative, though. It's just the fact that we're so pharmaceutical driven and told that's the only way. Gotta go, Smokey. Always enjoy the community. Man, absolutely, dude. My number's still the same. Shoot me a text and we'll stay in touch, dude. I appreciate you, man. Absolutely. I hope that you get better. We'll all be sending good vibes your way. Anybody who's in here who knows or remembers Nathan from years ago, he was around for years too. But yeah, we want to see that dude get better. We were talking about the fight. What else happened this week? I've had some things going on this week. Had some pretty crazy news just kind of pop up day before yesterday on Thursday. And I was supposed to meet the person today, and 30 minutes before I was supposed to meet them, they messaged me and said they want to push it to tomorrow at 2 p.m. I think it's 2 p.m. 2 or 2:30 tomorrow on Sunday. And of course I said I'm absolutely fine with that. But I've also told him that I 100%, actually I said 99.9%. I don't know what would change my mind at this point, that I want what he's got. And knock on wood, I'm praying that I will have some really, really interesting news for you guys come next week. Yeah, this could be epic. This could be epic. I really, really, I don't want to get my hopes up and then get them blown. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying not to count my chickens before they hatch. You know, all those classical sayings, but I'm really trying to physically and mentally do it. That's why I'm not just going to sit here and discuss what my ideas are and what my plans could be and what I'll tell y'all when it's going on, when it happens. And this one, again, knock on wood, we shall see tomorrow. It's going to be good, though. It's going to be real good. Yeah. Man, oh man. Huh. That's got me in deep thought. It could. I do want to tell you guys. TikTok meltdowns have been tremendous since Election Day. Agreed. I cannot disagree with that. I'll tell you though, it's not just the meltdowns. Like those are funny. Those are entertaining to watch. People making complete idiots out of themselves. You never see that from the other side. Like when it happened, like there were legitimate issues that were trying to be dealt with. And since then, I have seen some things that flat out blew my mind. That since I saw these were actual committee hearings that I watched, have been wiped from the internet. And this was just the other day. I watched one section of it, was like 25 minutes. I saved it. It's gone. Like, there is some hardcore evidence out there of what happened the last time. And it was stuff I'd never seen before. And I think it came to light immediately. It came to light while it was very relevant, and it got suppressed. It got shut up. It got not any attention paid to it because there were whistleblowers that needed extracted from the country, and of all places, it was Italy. I'm not going to try to break it down exactly because I'm not. I only got to watch it once, and I have tried to find it, and I can't find it. I can't find anything about it. It's not weird. It's exactly what I expect from Google at this point. All the brownies certainly had rancid nuts. There's no doubt about that. The brownie was rancid. I mean, the whole thing really, except, yeah, even the chocolate. Yeah, the whole thing was bad. There was fats in there that had went rancid. The sorbitol and the chocolate had went rancid, and the nuts had went rancid. So it was kind of a triple effect. But honestly, like I said, I mean that's one of the more edible brownies that I've eaten. It just had a really intense side effect. Yeah, the brownie is putrid. I mean, it really is. What'd you say? No. And the donuts have sticks. Okay, quick breakdown. There it is. That's the whole shebang right there. That's all you gotta do is read that. Absolutely. Typically Saturday nights between 8:30 9 o'clock is when I like to try to get started on live streams and then hang out for a few hours with everybody. Robert, Bob, they sucked fresh. That's what I was saying. I was like, these things, there's no way these were ever good, even when they rolled off of the factory. As soon as they come out of the factory, there was no way. Well, I didn't say there was no way. I was like, I don't think that they were ever good. I never had a fresh one. I can't imagine that thing was ever good. I don't think, just judging by the way it tastes now with all the rancidity and everything, I can still kind of pick out what I think it would have been when it was fresh. The texture would have been different, not so much cookie, a little more chewy. It was probably still quite stiff though, if not almost crunchy. The nuts even kind of give it that effect. This is my assessment of what I think a fresh one would be. The chocolate was probably waxy and not very flavorful. The brownie itself was probably quite bland. Not much taste there. Certainly doesn't taste much like a brownie. Like even the cosmic brownies that you think of as like the shelf-stable brownie, I don't think there was any of that even really. It was just kind of a bland block of something that you could eat that resembled a dessert but never really tasted good. That's what I think those things tasted like fresh. Yeah, the dream team. Can't evolve without change. Well, you know, it's not just change. We also, my personal thoughts is just, I know there's people out there that think the same way I do, but the government in the past, what they say, 8 years, went from like 2 million employees to like 4 or 4.4 million employees right now. We gonna have to cut them purse strings. Like the Pentagon last year, well, you know, their budget assessment is in right, $2.7 trillion. $2.7 trillion misplaced. $2.7 trillion. The blatant money laundering, embezzlement, whatever you want to call that, like, first of all, whoever's been doing that, I'm sure there's plenty of evidence for it. How about we make examples of the people that's been stealing our tax money for the past 7 years? It's been going on for 7 years. The Pentagon has their what they, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but their budget, they were off, wrong, completely wrong, missing money, misplaced money, whatever. 7 years in a row. So this has been going on clear back to what, 2017, I believe. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. That's 8 years. 2017, 18, somewhere along in there. Anyway, yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. Is that why? Yes, I would say that's got a little something to do with it. But insider trading is a huge part of it. All government employees, actual government employees. I'm not talking like people who work at the post office or something like that, which aren't technically even government employees, from what my postmaster up here explained to me. It's like it's weird the way the post office is done. Anyway, but they're all extremely overpaid. I mean, they set their own wages. You set your own wages, and then you also set your own raises. I think last year they got a 50% raise. Wonder why. Maybe because inflation was over 50%. That makes sense. That makes sense. Nobody else gets 50%. Yeah, you get it. You just take that 50. Yeah. You made 100. How about 2? How about 200 now? How about 150? Whatever. I mean, come on. Like, not only that, the majority of them don't even show up to work. They don't even show up. Like, I heard Vivek say he was going to, like a good idea would be to just make it mandatory that you show up to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week at your job. He's like, most of them will quit. He's like, most of them won't do it. They'll just not show up. Well, cool. You ain't got a job no more. You resigned. You don't show up to work. You're done. That's a pretty simple way to weed out the real bad ones right off the get-go. The guilty ones will run, just like a lot of celebrities that I think are on a infamous party list. And then the other island list is... I think those will be, they had better be, which the party list thing, like, I don't know enough about, like, obviously there was some weird stuff going on there. Mainly what I can see as adults, but I also, like, know go down the conspiracy side, the kids, man, there's 300 and some thousand kids missing just over the past year. I think it was a year. But I have watched videos of cartel members climbing up to the top of the fence, the wall, and they will lean over, and another cartel member will be right here with kids, handing them up to the guy. He leans over the fence, the wall, as far as he can, and drops them. Drops them 7, 8 feet, whatever, 10 feet, whatever it is. They drop them. You know, the kid lays there for whatever, and these kids will have a phone number pinned, taped, safety pinned, whatever, to their shirt, their clothing somewhere. Border Patrol agents, whatever they're called, I don't know if it's just Border Patrol agents, but it's border workers in general, will pick these kids up. They will call these phone numbers. They'll say, hey, do you know little Timmy, or whatever his name is? And they'll, oh yeah, sure, we're on our way. Come pick him up. They come in there. They anybody could do this. Like, anybody could be coming to pick these kids up. They don't verify anything. They don't make sure they're related. They don't make sure that the homes that they're going to. And then the kids just are gone. They're just gone. The kids are missing. Where do you think those kids are? Where do you think the 1,000 kids that are missing from Hawaii ended up? Why aren't the parents of those 1,000 children raising 10 kinds of cane? It's a good question. It's a question that's not been answered. It's a question they don't want you talking about. They want it forgotten. They want to come in the exact same way they're doing right now down in Florida. And I can't believe DeSantis is letting this happen. You think that one's better than the other? They're not. They're all scum. They're all scumbags. These people, they buy their land down in Florida. They've lived there for 50 years, 60. I know one guy that I watch on TikTok. He lived there like 50 years. Lives down there on a river. They are forcing them to build up 8 or 10 feet off the ground. And if they cannot build up off of the ground, they have two options. Either they sell their land to the county, the town, whatever, they set up a commission that goes around and buys up these properties. These properties, after they buy them up, they are to clear them off, and they're to be open air property that belongs to the state. That's what they're saying. I mean, you look at North Carolina, Tennessee. You look at the fact that the previous presidential candidate's husband is a major stakeholder, if not the major stakeholder, in the company that has like the most interest in the lithium. They're forcing them to either, down in Florida, they're forcing them to build up off the ground, either 8, 10 feet. They cannot use or reuse their existing structures. And if they cannot afford to do so, they have to either sell to the county or whatever. I assume it's county by county. Or they can be fined, I think it's $1,000 a day that they're going to fine them. Until they lay so many fines on them, they just come in and take their property. That's what's happening right now in Florida, Georgia, North South Carolina, Tennessee. They're going in their CPS, going in and taking kids away from moms, families. Like, I just watched a story on TikTok last night. Like, all I could think was how enraged it made me. The longer it was in 3 parts, the more I watched of it, and it was just flat out disgusting. I mean, and it's not just her. It wasn't just this one family. It's first of all, the fact that they can even do something like that. Red Cross pulled their cots out, so the families had nowhere to stay. Right after that, CPS comes in, takes the kids away. Because you don't have housing now. Huh, that's convenient. You just took the housing. And I remember back whenever, which I mean, a lot of bad things happened when Katrina happened as well. But we didn't really have the internet the way we do now. You know, things didn't get social media. But I do remember seeing FEMA trailers being shipped in there by the boatload. Why are we not giving these people FEMA trailers to live in? They're heated, they're air conditioned, they're a couple bedrooms, like they're just little trailers. They got a little kitchen in them, a little living space, a little dining area, and a couple bedrooms and a bathroom. And I think they were like 40 foot long by, how wide were they? 14 foot wide by 40 foot long. I don't know. There's enough space to where people could live in them, FEMA trailers. They were all over the place, man. And people, they set that up until they could rebuild. And when you look at Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, the stuff that's not on the coast, but most of those places, man, like, there's absolutely no problem with them rebuilding. Insurance should pay. And they're not going to want to pay anything. Just like what they've done in Hawaii is bananas, man. Bananas. That they've been able to get away with it. There was an app that someone made that tracks Pelosi stocks trading. Yes. So Pelosi stocks are delayed The last I checked, 2 weeks. So you're 2 weeks behind. When she makes a trade, you can't do it. Like, you're not going to be able to do it at the same time she does, unless you got some other way. But it's called autopilot. Excuse me. Sorry. That app that you're talking about is called autopilot, and it tracks. There's like a Team Trump that it tracks, like a Trump something or other. There's Pelosi. There's that guy with the eye patch. What's his name? Tracks him. I want to say that they're tracking Kamala's husband now. Because he's made some miraculous money. Her and her middle class, my rear end. That woman ain't never lived middle class in her life. Not that she can remember. I don't think ever anyway, man. If you guys watch the stuff that Candace Owens dug up about her, I think everything about her that she's told in books and everything has been a lie. I mean, it's crazy. That picture of her in a McDonald's outfit, that ain't her. That's a complete AI photo. You can Google it right now and pull up the actual photo of the person that photo was actually of, and she was swapped in, same dresser, same, everything's the same except the people. It's pretty crazy. AI is a scary, scary thing when it's used to deceive the entire public, for that matter. It's like, why lie and say you worked at McDonald's anyways? Like, who does that? Do you think that was going to impress somebody? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? If you'd have told us you worked at a tax firm or something crazy, like, yeah, something stupid like that when you were 17. Oh yeah, I spent on my summer I helped. Like, okay. Okay. It don't make no sense to me. I worked at Dairy Queen when I was 12 years old. I might have been 13. I was 12 or 13. That was my first tax-paying job. It's just part of my work history. It's actually on my, like the statement of where you worked, when you worked there, and all that stuff. It's on my statement or a statement or history, work history, whatever. That was my first tax-paying job. I had a couple other jobs that were not tax-paying, were under the table. I worked construction when I was 15, 16, and 17. I worked summers and spring and falls whenever I had time, weekends. Paid for my first car that way. But yeah, I started working when I was young. I was the cook at Dairy Queen. So, I don't think that's impressive. I don't think telling you guys that's like, whoa, he worked at Dairy Queen. This guy, he knows. This guy knows. I don't think that. Like, it's just, to lie about something like that is, to me, just really weird. But, most all of us lived that. Like, that was our real life. She was trying to act like that was her real life, and it wasn't. Not even close. Like, this woman was jet setting all over the world, living different places, family, all up in the government. Her dad, like, whoa, some wild stuff. Wild stuff. And just think about it. Really think about this. Supposedly, which I don't believe this, but supposedly, they raised over $1 billion, which I think like 600 million of that or something, 500 some million, rolled over from Joe right over. And then people like basically gave again because, oh, it's a new candidate, she's going to need more money. Nope, she just got all the money from him. She's got all the money she could ever need from him. Anyways, let's just say that they got 1.2 billion dollars. And now they're in debt. And this woman was going to be running the country. What would have happened? What would have happened? I mean, we already kind of know like what's happened over the past 4 years, except I think it would have been like worse. It would have been worse. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. I've thought about it, as have many other Americans. Anyone with common sense, with a level head, that saw that and thought, hmm, what if? What if things would have went the other way? Like, I'm not going to get into what my real thoughts about that are, but I would, if anybody can find that footage that I'm talking about, it was like Iowa or Idaho or something, that she had taken it to Congress, I think it was Congress. Anyway, she had taken it in front of the federal government, and they basically didn't want to hear it. She had done a lot of things. She pulled money out of her 401k or her retirement and tried to get the whistleblowers out of Italy, and it was about Italy and satellites. You guys, if you guys can find the full testimony of her, because she also put a bunch of this information into a book, and for Trump to present the evidence, and nobody would hear it, nobody would look at it, because standing, and I just, what? Like, hear the case and look at it. Hey, Delicious is here. Been talking about you, buddy. Tried to send people over your way. Drinking out of your cup right now. I don't know if I could ever match this flavor. Which this particular cup of coffee, the creamer has an aged flavor to it. It's not bad. It just has it tastes like an old MRE. Like, all old MRE components have one similar flavor in common. And I can't really tell you exactly what that is, except old MRE flavor. It's kind of permeates through everything. I don't know if it's like the plastic that enhances or leaves a little flavor to everything. It's something. This doesn't have it. Everything else does. The crackers had it. The jelly has it. The brownie has it. The Maine had it. The coffee has it. I don't know if the hot chocolate really does, though. I don't know if the cocoa beverage powder does. But pretty much everything has that twist of vintage MRE flavor. So, yeah. Anyways, I think the list thing is going to be, I really, 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 really hope that we see the Kennedy file be released day one. Just get it out there. Let's deal with it. Let's deal with it now. I would like to see what happened in September of 2001. Any information on that be released, which it's not even really talked about, but I know it has to exist. I want to see the island list. I want those people dealt with, because that list is going to be everyone from the highest paid position in America, like the top position, President of the United States. We know Bill Clinton. There's a picture of Bill Clinton in a dress, kicked back on a chair with like his legs crossed, on like sitting sideways on the chair. Huge painting of this in Island Boys, Manhattan, I think it's 5-floor mansion on like Fifth Avenue or wherever that thing. It's somewhere around Central Park. It goes from the very tip top in America, and just there's tentacles all over the place, touching. Ugh, it's everywhere. That needs to be dealt with. And then the party list. I think we just saw a lot of people that were on that list were used for the benefit of one certain side, and now that they didn't get their way, and the list isn't going to stay sealed up. So the list should not still be like the island list should have been released immediately and dealt with. But why wasn't it? Because the people that are on that list had control. Yeah, I know. I heard him say that. I heard his excuse. I have a theory on why I think that I really think that he didn't release it, and I don't think it was just what's his name being in his ear. Did you just say? Because he said during Joe Rogan they didn't read the files. I'm not. Yeah, he said because there's people that are still alive that it may affect. That ain't it. That one guy, what's his name? Last name starts with a P. Anyway, supposedly he was in his ear telling him not to do it. That's one excuse that they're making. Another excuse that they're making, Netanyahu. Anyway, like, first of all, I think AIPAC or any lobbyist, for that matter, needs to be completely banned from having anything to do with our government. If you can't raise money from your constituents by going out, talking to them, and promising and doing, following up by actually voting and doing the things that you said you were going to do, then you don't deserve to have the position in the first place. You don't deserve to have the position just because AIPAC threw $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million or $4 million at you. Here, that's $4 million for your campaign, $3 million for your campaign. Here's $1 million. Nope, that needs to stop. The pharmaceutical companies, commercials for pharmaceutical companies, which I know that's coming to an end. RFK is going to change the future of America. And unfortunately, I grew up in the absolute worst time for food that I could have possibly grown up. All food changed around 1987. And we've been poisoning ourselves ever since. Actually, it was before. It wasn't good before, but it was a lot better. It was a lot better than what it is now. Somebody in a diesel truck that excuse me, that I don't recognize. Huh. Anyway, I'm probably going to sign off of here. It's good hanging out. Fantastic MRE. Crackers were amazing. Brownies sucked. Pears were awesome. Cocoa beverage powder was awesome. Beef diced with gravy. Good. Looks awful. Looks awful. Tastes good. It's good. It's good. Can't hardly find a good beef diced with gravy. Usually they're not going to be any good. Usually you'll get into that meat and it'll be like, no, this ain't, I can't eat this. Doing the stream. I do them on Saturdays. I do it usually. I try to hit every Saturday. If things go as planned tomorrow, next Saturday will be big. And then let's see, that'll be towards the end of November. I don't want to get my hopes up, man. But I kind of have. Like, oh. Anyway, all right, folks. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks to all my patrons. Thank you guys. I didn't see Miss Marilyn tonight, by the way. Hope she's doing okay. I'll text her and check on her. Yeah. Crackers are amazing. Those aren't always in the 86s and 87s, but those are first generation crackers. Got a German EPA and some loose items. Is it a freeze-dried German EPA or is it one of the wet pack EPAs? I assume you're going to be doing a live stream, huh? I ain't done that since I was a kid. 2 or 3 weeks. That light is really bright. All right. Look at the camera. If I look at the camera, I can't see myself. I mean, I can peripheral see myself, but I cannot see myself. It's weird. There's an app where you can like have basically a teleprompter. There's also another app where you can be looking over here reading a teleprompter. All right, I'm reading off a teleprompter right now, talking to you guys, just reading things off a teleprompter, and it will superimpose different eyeballs on you looking directly at the camera. It's really kind of neat. I downloaded it even. I've never used it, but I downloaded it a long time ago. It's probably not on my phone anymore, to be honest. I don't know if I downloaded it on this one or on that one. I don't know. Pretty cool that they have that technology, though. All right, guys. Thank y'all for hanging out. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up or down. Come back after, make a comment, whatever. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Later.